Welcome everybody. We are at our last video for the power rankings for the positions in North America. We're gonna go ahead and talk about supports last because let's be honest, no one cares about support that much. So let's talk about supports here. So let's start with Afromu. Afromu is consistently the best or the best support in the league. He's someone who is not only a leader in shot caller, but he's also someone who has can play multiple different styles, as well as someone who is a huge playmaker. This is something that I value a lot more in a support, is someone who can not only do multiple things internally, but can also be, that external factor for why you win a game. Like someone who can carry a game from support. And that's not too common in a lot of these players here. A lot of these players are kind of backline supports. But Afromu is definitely not. Afromu is definitely the person who wants to be the center of attention as a support player, and that's something that is very uncommon in the role. Core JJ coming over from Gen G. You have a world champion coming over. The only reason I have him at number 2 instead of number 1 is because we're not sure how he's going to adjust to playing with double lift. A lot of supports take some serious time to be able to play with double lift, and Core JJ I think is going to be no different. At the current time, if like I said, if I was going to make a team, if I had a choice of support to start with, I would start with Afromu before I start with Core JJ. Alright, let's talk about Biofrost. Biofrost number 3 coming from CLG, pretty bad line. Or a pretty bad year for 2018. However, I do believe that Biofrost is one of the best supports. Stixxam Biofrost, one of the strongest lanes for bot lane in North America. And to be honest, I don't think you can count Biofrost out of the top best support role or best support player in the league, because Biofrost is consistently top in the numbers, and he was on a 40% win team. Zeyzal, I probably would have had number 10 at the beginning of last year if he was a starter, and this is a guy who put in some serious work. Some of his Braum play is absolutely incredible. I honestly wanted a Braum skin if Cloud9 were to win Worlds with the beard, but I think this is a guy who could be seen as one of the best NA talents in the league. Not just one of the best like NA supports, but one of the best NA talents. Depending on how he performs this year. And looking at the lineups of supports for North America, you have Afromu, Biofrost, Zeyzal, Hakuho. Like those are four supports that are all incredibly talented for North America. Like you have some really good talent in North America for supports. And Zeyzal is definitely up there. The person below him, I put below him only because Hakuho has yet to play on the world stage, has yet to show us that he can, the only time we ever saw it happen was when they beat TSM, where Hakuho almost single-handedly beat TSM with Thresh, and that was one of the hottest series of the year. I thought that was one of the most fun series to watch, as TSM just get dismantled by Thresh and continue to not ban it. If we talk about Hakuho, I think Hakuho is the best support for any team if you have Apollo as well. So Apollo and Hakuho are probably one of the best duos and one of the only duos that remained from last year, aside from Stixxam and Biofrost, and one of the longest standing bot lanes in the world, really, because a lot of them have switched out. I think Apollo and Hakuho together are extremely deadly. Individually, I don't see it. So I really want to see Hakuho have another breakout split or year, and I think he can be, he's competing with these top names easily. Smoothie I have at number 6. Smoothie is someone who didn't look good when he was playing. Like, he looked like an MVP candidate in spring, obviously, when he was on Cloud9. He gets benched. He doesn't actually come back. He looks pretty poor in Academy, and then he goes over to Echo Fox, and Smoothie just looks schmeh. Like, he didn't look great. I mean, he also didn't have Sneaky. He didn't have a team around him that he wanted to play with. And overall, a pretty rough year for him. Going to TSM, maybe he returns to greatness as a support. He looks like he's having a pretty good time when he's streaming and stuff. but I can't tell you whether I think Smoothie is gonna be good or not. And I think he's pretty, he's not above any of the names above him. I think that he doesn't have that factor that makes him great. Hakuho has an extremely clutch factor with his hooks and his playmaking. Alpha Moose, same thing. Core JJ is a world championship. Biofrost is so consistent, and he's a shot caller for his team as well. Like, Biofrost is just a better Smoothie. Zazel, a better Smoothie. Like, Zazel replaced him. I can't put Smoothie below a player, or Smoothie above a player that he replaced when Zazel had like a breakout split. Ole and number 7, same thing. I think any player that gets replaced can't really, like, they can't move up in the standings, in my opinion. I think outside of Santorin, moving from EU to NA, I think Ole is someone who has a lot of talent and just could not play with double lift, and that is totally fine. I think that that's totally fine. It's a fine excuse for a player. If you say, hey, I am struggling because I'm playing with this style of player and I can't play this style, that's fine. There is no reason why Ole's career should be in jeopardy or anything like that because he didn't get along with one of his core, his teammates. Like, bot lanes have to mesh, and if they don't mesh, get rid of them. That's what you do. That's just what you do. And with Ole, definitely is more of the mentality of Cody-san without the big baby mentality. So I do believe that Ole can mesh with definitely a little bit better than both Cody-san and the previous AD carries that he's had. And maybe he returns to one of his top, one of the top supports in the league. But right now, I'm just saying no. Big, I think Big. I've always liked watching Big because I think Big is not someone who gets a lot of praise for the little things that he does. He does shot call. He does have a very positive voice. And it seems like he's got a pretty good way about how he wants to play the game. He meshes with pretty much anybody. And maybe he's got that factor that kind of keeps everyone's mentality under wraps. Playing with Arrow is something that Big has done in the past. I think that doesn't make him a great support because they don't ever win lane, but I think that's more of a, we know how to lose gracefully so that we can win in the late game. And hopefully that continues to be a thing. Big, improves his shot calling to the way where he understands what he has to do for certain matchups and maybe their team sees success. But I'm not so sure at this point. JJ, okay, rookie split or rookie year. I'm not so sure whether he's going to be good or bad. I don't think he's better than Adrian. I don't think he's better than Stunt. I don't know. I can't tell you why JJ is starting over these players. I don't know. I can't tell you. I think that Diamond from the Scouting Grounds, as well as who was the other one? Duo King. Duo King are better supports than both JJ, Vulcan, and Big, and I think that they actually looked pretty good as supports. I don't know. And Vulcan plays with Piglet, so maybe he likes playing with Piglet. Maybe Piglet likes him, but I couldn't tell you whether these players deserve to be in the LCS. And that's going to be my support power rankings. It kind of filters out just because I do believe that these 3 kind of don't deserve spots over some of the other players, or they should be in tandem with splitting time. But other than that, I think that this is a pretty good way of thinking about it. I'm going to be going ahead and starting with my LEC video next and talking about what I think about some of the EU rosters. And I'm going to go, I just have to wait for some of the, SK still doesn't have a lineup. All right, thank you very much. Have a great one. Bye.